Oh boy, what a time to be a Unity dev. Who knows what the situation will even be by the time I'm done making this video. Oh well, I gotta get this project done before Unity burns to the ground. Hey everyone, I'm Adam, and in the last video I started this little project where you can fight enemies and summon skeletons from their corpses to fight for you. Guess I'll say it right now. Admittedly, it's been like over 5 months since I did all this dev stuff, so sorry if my memory is a bit foggy. Alright, so at the end of the last video we just got the summoning working, but the skellies don't have AI yet. That was day 48, that is 48 days after the start of the Brekkies game jam, because this was supposed to be a jam game that I never submitted. Next up is day 50, where I made a settings menu. Most of these were probably not even functional at this time. 8 days later, on day 58, I went on a little tangent, experimenting with a Momentum character controller based on code that ChatGPT gave me. Long story short, it didn't feel very good. I guess the only way to make a good Momentum-based character controller is to just download Danny's Carson code, which he made available on GitHub and also made tutorials about, by the way. But anyway, I just reverted my changes to my original character controller. Guess it will stay that way for this project. After this tangent, I tried making a new weapon trail effect following Lightly's Elden Ring Grace VFX tutorial. On day 60, I finally made AI for my skeletons. I had been procrastinating on this for a couple of weeks, cause I was feeling that I should do this the smart way, make a generic AI script that both the enemies and skeletons would inherit from. But in the end, I just decided to stop procrastinating and do it the dirty way. So I wrote the skeleton AI from scratch. Or copied parts of it from the enemy script, I don't remember. But as it turns out, the two scripts were really similar. Maybe one day I'll actually do this thing properly. But for now, at least I have a working AI script, even if the code is stupid. On day 61, I made the skeletons fight nearby enemies and follow the player. Oh, they just won't stop running. Should I leave it like this? Well, I fixed it. Now they stop once they get close enough. On day 62, I gave the skeletons health, so they can take damage and die. Again. Okay, I guess our work here is done. That's probably not true, but we can just skip ahead. So I went on another tangent, adding the Pro Builder plugin to try building some prototype levels. I tried making fake stairs. Stair on the outside, ramp on the inside. But then I ditched it and replaced it with a normal ramp. Even then it didn't seem to work too well with the enemy. Okay, back to the skeleton combat. I tried to make the enemies aggro onto the skeleton attacking them, but it didn't seem to work too well. Kept giving me null reference exceptions. I faintly recall I kept fiddling with the code and getting more pissed as time went on. On day 64, I spent like 45 minutes debugging and eventually found that apparently the issue was caused by a miscalculation. The enemy is only supposed to aggro onto its attacker if they can see them. So I calculated the seeing raycast vector direction so that it's pointing from the enemy to the skeleton attacking it. But when shooting the raycast, I set the start position to the enemy's eye, and by that I mean their head. And it seems like because of this the raycast didn't hit the target. Changing the calculation so that it actually goes from the enemy's head to the target fixed it. On day 68, I did something. The only thing I know is that OBS had a stroke and the whole recording was scuffed. Okay, apparently I was trying to make some sounds for the skeletons, and I guess this is the result. No! On day 71, I decided to implement a stair climbing mechanic. I watched some tutorials and it turns out it's pretty simple. We just shoot a raycast from the character's feet and their knees. If there's nothing in front of their knees, we move them up. Easy. And on day 81, I also added a mechanic to the NPCs. On day 84, I fiddled with sound effects. And oh hey, look at that. Apparently I changed the weapon trail effect again, for like the third time now, if not the fourth. This time we're back to the regular trail renderer rather than messing with Unity's particle system. Oh yeah, I also went to implement a proper death mechanic for the player. It probably had been a long time coming. And if we're gonna have a proper death, we'll also need a way to respawn. So I went to Blender, made some logs, and now we've got a campfire. Very original, right? Sprinkle some fire particles on top. On day 85 I made a script that lets us walk up to the campfire and light it. And I added some ambient fire sounds from my sound effects folder for cozy vibes. On day 86 I went back to my settings screen and implemented some mouse settings. And I think I also changed some stuff to ensure that if you change the settings in the main menu they get carried over to the game. How did I do that? Don't destroy and load. I had to look at my scripts again to remember that's what I used. On day 89 I fiddled with the pathfinding of the skeletons. Don't know, something about trying to make sure that when they try to follow you, if you're in midair or in an unreachable place, they'll try to go to the nearest reachable position, or something. On day 91, Vimlark was doing one of his feedback streams. I had submitted the game to him, but while waiting to get my turn, I realized there was probably a bunch of things missing, so I started crunching to update the game before Vimlark gets to play it. I made a prompt that shows up when you're in range of the campfire to let you know that you can interact with it, and I implemented the respawn mechanic so that you revive at the campfire. Suddenly this is a Souls-like now. Just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, I never actually won the raffle on Vimlark's stream on this day, but wait just a moment, he is going to play the game. But before that, on day 93 or 92 or whatever, I did some UI manager stuff. Some animations and screen fading, I guess. More interestingly, I found an issue that was causing the enemies to aggro weirdly. Apparently their seeing ray was hitting the big trigger that's on the player, so I changed the physics setting that made the Raykes detect triggers, and now we're good. Okay, so 1 week after the previous Vimlark stream, I actually got him to play the game.
Ooh, fireball! Oh shit, I fell. Catch fire, bastard. Oh, I farted. Suck it, bitch. Can I pick that up? Dead. Do I get these? Can I collect these? I want to see what this spell does. Is there a dude back here? Nope. Oh, there's a dude over there. Oh, that reanimates a corpse? Excuse me. I love him! I love him! Let's go, boys. Whee! This is cool. This is rad. Dude, the fact that you can summon minions is so good. These guys are awesome. They're so cute. Look at them. They're so eager. They're just bouncy boys. Am I a skeleton too? I look like a skeleton. I think I'm a skeleton too.
Meanwhile.
On day 28, I made a bloody screen overlay that flashes when the player is taking damage. Except, it's kinda weird because the player has skeleton hands, implying he's a skeleton. He really shouldn't have blood in the first place.
I kinda have skelly hands. This is their mating dance. I like it. And let's just end it off by yeet.
Well, that was nice. But he actually missed the whole campfire thing along with the cozy vibes. Never mind, we'll get them next time. So, I did say in the previous episode that we weren't gonna mess with terrains for quite a while, right? Well, now's the time. On day 98, I went to mess around. So I slapped the green texture on the terrain and decreased the height map resolution. It didn't give the low poly results that I was hoping for. So instead of the boring green, I drew a grass texture. So now, wait a moment. Now it's Minecraft. Mind you, this is still not the look I intended for the game, but I guess we're sticking with it for a bit. might try some other ideas in the next video. In the meantime, I made a pine tree model. You know, all this terrain stuff reminded me. I kinda suck at level design, huh? Okay, one of these days I'm actually gonna start putting in effort. Alright, day 100. We're getting really close to the end. I figured I wanted to implement some arena mechanics with enemies spawning in waves. So I made a scuffed arena building where the enemies would spawn at the top, out of sight of the player, and then drop down. I put some enemies up there for testing, but it looks like they just don't want to drop down. I tried using NovMesh links, but it didn't solve the issue. One of my theories is that it doesn't work because I'm using my own rigid body movement code rather than the NovMesh agent. But anyway, I couldn't be bothered to test this theory out, so I just figured screw it. The enemies are gonna spawn on the same level as the player. Maybe we will hide them behind closed doors if we have to. Anyway, day 101, the last day of this video, or development cycle we might call it. I wrote the script for the arena. Doors close when you run in and the waves start coming. Oops, looks like I forgot to change a bool. So now the enemies are spawning every time you enter the arena trigger. Pretty funny, honestly. Might even be hitting my frame rate actually. And now they're not even gonna let me out of the corner. By the way, it seems like the enemies and skeletons on this new map are taller than the player, unlike on the test map. I don't know what that's about, although I didn't really spend much time trying to debug it. Also, fun fact, I was trying to make it so that if you are being followed by skeletons, the arena won't activate until all your skeletons have also entered. Haven't tested if it works though, so... Anyway, that was all the work I did so far. Hilarious considering I was supposed to do all this in 1 week for the Breckies Game Jam. Truly the overscoping of all time. So, at the time of making this video, the game still isn't playable yet. There's still a bunch of things to do. So, I'll have to get back to work. But before that I might finish my first Lies of P playthrough. And Armored Core 6 and G++. Also, this is the part of the video where I was gonna mention that basically by the time I started making this video, Unity backtracked on their outrageous changes. And John Riccitello. Riccitello? Is that actually how it's supposed to be pronounced? It's not gonna be any fun if I pronounce it correctly. Oh well, he's gone. But I have plans anyway, and I should finish this game by the next devlog. So, thanks for watching. See you in 2024 probably.